What's up, guys? This is Jacob here from Team J, and we talked about our switch over. I know we did. And so we both, I believe me and Jericho both did a deck profile if he hasn't posted his up yet. But I know I did, and I found a better version of it since Guardians Rising came out. And it is honestly way, way better. There's a very, very, very rare time you will break. And some of your choices might not be the same as mine, obviously. But you can, change them as you like. This is just my build. And right now, my build is the way, or at least the way I have it's working really, really well since the last one. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Obviously, you can tell we're starting off with 4 of the regular Cosmog from Sun and Moon. You don't really have to run 4, I should say. But I figure if you're gonna run 4 Solgaleos, you might as well run 4 Cosmogs, even though that's kind of what you need. Even though half the time I don't even really need 4 of either. But yeah, it's just a deck build because you want to see Cosmog as quick as you can, as well as Solgaleo. Next, you're going to run 2 Cosmoem. I honestly don't know why it's rare from Sun and Moon, but yeah. And then next, after Cosmoem, you're going to run 4 Solgaleo GX. This is the main boss of this deck. This is who, like I said, with the 4 Cosmog, this is what this deck revolves around. It has the ability Ultra Row, which is a free switch without any items. And, if say I have one of my spicy techs, which I'm going to show you next, out, and say it has a special condition like Confusion. And say you have, most of the time I always have at least 2 Solgaleos out on the field. Ultra Road out the spicy tech to the one Solgaleo. The other Solgaleo Ultra Road it back out to get its, so that thing loses its status condition, and you can get what you want from the graveyard, which is the whole reason that this card is in here. And that card is Rayquaza. This is the regular rare, obviously in a reverse rare, from Sun and Moon Guardians Rising. It is so good because its first move right here, Turbo Storm. Discard or attach 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile to one of your benched Pokemon. So, and it's just a double colorless, which, almost every deck runs. So what happens is you equip a double colorless to Rayquaza, and you have a Solgaleo charged up, possibly with Solgaleo's Soulburst GX, which I'm pretty sure I talked about in the first video, but just in case you didn't know, Solgaleo's Soulburst GX attaches up to 5 energy cards from your deck and attach them to my Pokemon any way you like, and that's any energy. So even if you don't have a DCE for Rayquaza and you have at least 1 Steel Energy for Solgaleo, you can Soulburst out a DCE for Rayquaza. And then, you're all set up for next turn, as well as setting up your Solgaleos or your Cosmogs with 3 energies, and just hope you can draw into the stuff you need to get Solgaleo. But yeah, Turbo Storm Rayquaza is outstanding. It makes this deck so much quicker with getting back energies, and honestly, I think it makes it so much more competitive than Lugia. Granted, and not only is Lugia is a bit better in some parts with the stadium type thing, but Rayquaza is so much better, not only for the Turbo Storm effect, but it is also a 1 prize card and not a 2 like Lugia. Granted, it doesn't have much as health, but we've got things to help with that in this deck. The next thing we run, or that I run, is 1 Drampa GX. So basically why I run Drampa is, for Berserk. If you don't know what Berserk does, if your bench Pokemon have any damage counters on them, this attack does 70 more damage. And In this deck, Solgaleo with 250 health, after Sunsteel Strike, if you don't have anything, you can honestly just sit there with Solgaleo, let it take a lot of damage during turns, and then, say you get a Drampa and you're able to charge it up, you just Ultra Road out to Drampa and hit for 150. 180 if the opponent's is an EX or a GX with a choice band. Um, and its other move, Righteous Edge, only needs one energy. Discard a special energy from your opponent's active Pokemon, which is pretty good considering almost everyone runs a DCE, but not a lot of people just hit for Righteous Edge. They mainly just do Berserk. Since that's you're hitting for 150 base. If there's damage counters, 180 non, or not 180, sorry, 80 plus non. And it's GX move, which you won't really use in this deck, because a Soul Burst is a Big Wheel GX. Shuffle your hand into the deck and then draw 10 cards, basically forcing your opponent to play end. But yeah, Drampa you can honestly just put in any deck, and it actually fit really well because I actually battled my buddy yesterday, and he has Darkrai Turbo with the Yveltals, and he I believe, only has one Yveltal that isn't an EX. And, with Drampa, with Solgaleo having damage on him, actually, I even had a Rayquaza with damage on him. And I just ultra it out to Drampa and just hit for 180 every time because I had a choice band on him. And basically hit for game in 2 or 3 turns. Alright, so for the next and last Pokemon I play is Oranguru. With the new rotation, can't have Shaman anymore. So Oranguru is really good if you don't have less than 3. Otherwise, it's also just a 1 prize. And it has just as much health as Rayquaza. Doesn't hit as hard or do anything as good as Rayquaza besides letting you draw. But that only lets you allow 3. So if I had a Tapu Lele, I would definitely take this out for Tapu Lele. Or I would take Drampa out for Tapu Lele and keep a Oranguru just in case you needed some draw power. Those are just fill-ins for right now. Basically, one took out the Lele and the other took out the Shaman. I'm trying as hard as I can to pull a Lele. And right now it's not working as well. Considering the last 8 packs I bought, I pulled 2 Sylveon GXs, just regulars, out of 8 packs, and that was all 1 row. So, yeah. But anyway, Oranguru, pretty decent with Instruct. It can hit for pretty decent at 60 base, and if this has, it's kind of like a Lugia. Does 20 more damage times the amount of energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. I don't know why it says times, considering it's 60 plus. I just now noticed that. But I'm sure the wording is kind of the same, but it's just weird to me. But yeah, Oranguru. And then first off, for your supporters, I play 3N. Standard. Lots of people like to play 4, but I think 3 is okay. Considering once you get Lele or Skyla or anything else, since Via Seeker's gone, it's going to be hard, granted, I know. But this deck does not have any of the old set rotation cards in them, and if it does, let me know if you catch it, and I will find a switch, and then I'll post it in the comments or description or whatnot or whatever. But yeah, 3 ends. And then the next thing I play is 2. Professor Sycamore. Yes, people like to play 3. People like to play 4. They like to see it. I like to see it too, but sometimes there's times where I see 3 or 4 Sycamores in one hand, plus as well as other stuff that I need, and I really just don't want to discard all my Sycamores in one hand. Granted, we had Via Secret at the time, but now we don't, so now I just don't. I want to see him, but I don't want to see him as much as I have been, if you see what I'm saying. But yeah, 2 Sycamore. Next, I play 1 Professor Kukui. standard draw 2 cards, and your opponent does 20 more damage. It's basically Giovanni's scheme, but it has both the effects mixed in instead of you having to choose. That's why Kukui is a lot better. Sorry for the camera moving, guys. It's kind of wobbly now. But yeah, and it's actually pretty decent considering if you Kukui and you have and your Solgaleo's facing like say Lunala GX or something like that, and you don't have your choice band, Kukui will let Solgaleo do exactly the right amount to knock out the Lunala or anything with 250 health. Even with the choice band, it would still do more. I literally think the only thing Solgaleo cannot one-shot with Kukui is a Wailord EX. And even with the choice band, I still think it would be 10 short. So, but yeah, pretty hard hitter. Next up is Lillie. We all know the standard. We want to have 6 first turn. We want to have 8. I always play Lillie no matter what deck, even if it's not in it. I will always find a place to put Lillie in it, and I honestly don't have a problem with running Lillie. I think it goes well in every deck. Next card is Brock's Grit. Shuffle 6 in any combination of Pokemon and basic energy cards back from your discard pile into your deck. This is basically if I lose both my Rayquazas early and I don't have anything else to get my energies back. I would just shuffle them back with Brock's Grit and, maybe both my Rayquazas and 4 energies or whatnot. But I'll just shuffle them all back with Brock's Grit. Next is Pokemon Fan Club. This is basically so say you have maybe Drampa and Rayquaza and you keep seeing like Cosmoem or something. You can use this to search out any of your basics, so Oranguru, Drampa, Rayquaza, or Cosmog. You want to see Cosmog, you want to see Rayquaza as quick as you can. And so say you start off with the Drampa and you have this. I would easily get a Cosmog and a Rayquaza so you can start working on those. This is just basically pretty good just to search for your basics if you only have one first turn. Next I play Fisherman. Like again, this is just there has been a couple times where I've run out of energies and Fisherman has come in handy where I can actually charge up a Solgaleo and have 1 energy left over to maybe even give to Rayquaza or give to Drampa to do 150 or Rayquaza to do 80 constant. So yeah, Fisherman's pretty good, adding 4 basic energy cards back to from your discard pile back to your hand. It's pretty good. This is I know for a fact, I'm pretty sure these are the only 2 cards that I play that is going out of set, but they are easily going to be replaced in the next set with Burning Shadows. But these 2 are Lysandre, and if you don't know about the Guzma, then I would highly suggest looking it up, because basically Guzma is a Lysandre, the first effect, and then an escape rope for you on the second effect. So, yeah, Guzma's really, really good. And I'm definitely going to replace Lysandre with Guzma when it comes out. Next card is, you don't really run any stadiums in this deck, but I have faced a lot of decks with stadiums. And so I play 1 Delinquent. There's times where my opponent he'll have like maybe 3 prize cards left or whatnot. And he'll either end or I will end, and then he'll do stuff next turn, maybe still have 3, maybe less, and he has a stadium. I will play Delinquent, discard his stadium, and make him discard 3 cards, so maybe he won't even have cards in hand at the time. But yeah, Delinquent is a pretty good card. I like it, and so far it's worked pretty well in this deck. Next card I play is Pokemon Center Lady. The standard heal 60 and any special conditions from your Pokemon. So basically like Confuse, Poison, Burn, Paralysis. I think that's it. I'm probably missing one. Oh, Sleep. But yeah. And 60, that's quite a bit for and a special condition. That can actually survive. That can help survive maybe a couple more hits. Or not maybe a couple, but maybe help survive one more hit, which gives you one more turn to do something. Yes, it is risky. I understand that, but half the time you don't even need to do it because you can just Ultra Road out to other ones with 250 health. My last supporter I play is Skyla. The main reason I play Skyla is if I wanna get any supporters for next turn, like maybe a Fisherman or a Pokemon fan club, maybe even a Sycamore because I'll be low on cards. But there are items I search out, and I will either search out a most of the time it's a rare candy, considering you play the 4-2-4 lineup. So most of the time it's a rare candy or maybe even a heavy ball. But yeah, Skyla search out any trainer, put it in your hand, and then shuffle your deck. Skyla's pretty good. Next for my lineup, I play 4 Ultra Balls. If you play Pokemon and you don't know what an Ultra Ball does, you might want to, and you might want to pretty fast because Ultra Ball is probably one of the best things you could do. Considering in this deck, not only can you just ditch an energy, and if you have Rayquaza first turn, which is most of the time I do have a Rayquaza first turn, and a Cosmog. Most of the time and if I have an Ultra Ball as well, I will Ultra Ball out something, ditch an energy, and whatever else I have in my hand, maybe even 2 energies. That way Cosmog only needs 1. There's times where I start out with lots of times where I start out with rare candies. That way, just next turn, hopefully you can draw into a Solgaleo or maybe a Kukui or something, or a Lillie, and hopefully then draw into a Solgaleo. But yeah, Ultra Ball, pretty good. Got to run it at 4, no matter what. Next, I run 3 rare candies. Yeah, you might think 3 instead of 4 because of the 4 Cosmog lineup. Some of the times I just don't even need 3 Solgaleos out on the field. Most of the time I just have 2 and a Drampa and a Rayquaza. That's it. Plus, with Rayquaza, just bring everything back. You really only need 2, but yeah, 3 rare candies. You want to see it probably quicker. You could run 4, but I run 3. I like 3, so that's how I picked my lineup for rare candies. Next I run 2 heavy balls. If you don't know what heavy ball does, search your deck for a Pokemon with retreat cost of 3 or more, reveal it and put it in your hand, shuffle your deck afterwards. Basically, all you search out with this is Solgaleo. So say you have a rare candy and a Cosmog on your bench, you can rare candy and a heavy ball, excuse me. You can heavy ball the Solgaleo, and then rare candy the Cosmog. That's why it's pretty good, because you can not only... So say you don't have the Solgaleo, but you have a heavy ball, you basically have a Solgaleo right there. You just want to see Solgaleo and Cosmog as quick as you can, and that's just going to help it. Next, I play 2 choice bands. Pretty standard. This attack does attack, or if the attacks of Pokemon this card is attached, you do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon if it is a GX or an EX before applying weakness and resistance. So yeah, you can see why I play it. I mainly just attach those to Drampa and Solgaleo. There are times where I'll attach it to Rayquaza if Rayquaza is the only thing I have. But mainly I have one other thing for Rayquaza that I give it all the time just to help it survive. But next I run 2 Field Blowers. If you're facing Garbodor, yes, they are an item, but you're also getting rid of 2 of their Garbodors, which Garbotoxin hurts this deck, considering you can't Ultra Road out. So if you can Field Blower away the item off Garbotoxin, you can use your Ultra Road, maybe Instruct if you need to, but mainly Ultra Road is one of your best abilities in this deck, considering you can use abilities many times once per card before you attack. So yeah, Field Blower is really going to help you through that. Next, like I said, these 2 cards are mainly for Rayquazas. Sometimes I'll give them to Drampas. But Fighting Fury Belt. The basic Pokemon this card is attached to gets 40 health, and if the attacks do 10 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon before applying weakness and resistance. Yes, you can equip this to Cosmog, maybe, if it's the only thing you have, just so it can, maybe withstand a shot. or two. It'd give Cosmog 100 health. Um, it won't do any damage because, Cosmog don't do any damage, but it's just mainly uh, to help if this is the only thing you have. Like I said earlier, the only thing you have, give Cosmog a chance to take a hit or so. But mainly I give it to Rayquaza to give it 160 health, and Turbo Storm and Dragon Claw would do 40 and 90. Um, and you got to remember, there's a keyword, basic Pokemon. Me and my buddies actually didn't realize that at first, that it said basic. So whenever we equipped it to like evolution Pokemon, we always thought that it would stick with it, but it does not. So be careful on the wording. And for my last three items, I run one max potion. Basically, so say, like I said earlier, you have Solgaleo out just to take hits to stall up your opponent. Say you draw into max potion. You wait till Solgaleo gets low, max potion. Because it won't have any energies because it's Sunsteel Strike. And, if you're still trying to set up, maybe waiting for a DCE or whatnot, with Rayquaza, you could just have that max potion out because it won't lose anything, which is, pretty good as well. Granted, you can still get the energies back, but you're not losing any more energies than what you already did. So, you could probably run that at 2, but I like it at 1. You don't need it very much, but it has come in clutch for me a couple times. Next thing I want is a Nest Ball. Nest Ball, search out a basic, and put it on the bench. So basically, Oranguru, Drampa, Rayquaza, Cosmog, anything you want. They're all pretty good. That's why you run one Nest Ball. Next thing I run is Energy Retrieval. And, pretty standard, why. Like I said, Rayquaza recycles, Broxgrit recycles, Fisherman recycles. Basically, I just want this deck to recycle as much as I can. And, even if they get discarded, I lose Rayquaza. That's why I got Broxgrit, got Fisherman, and Energy Retrieval. This has come in handy a couple times too. Just so where I can Energy Retrieval back a couple energies, equip one Solgaleo, Rayquaza Turbo Storm, Solgaleo is ready to go next turn. And by attaching 2, so say you have like 6 or something in the graveyard, you only have 1 Solgaleo out, you will still get the 4 energies to Solgaleo. You can't choose just one. It has to be those 2, so you will have 4 on there. So you have 1 less energy. This way you can get back and just use 1 energy. And then the last, I'm just going to put these in the screen, but I run 9 steel energies, I believe. 1, 2, 3. Yep, 9 steel energies, and then I run 4 DCEs. You want to see a lot of these, not so much the steel energies, because, like I said earlier, the Solgaleo, you can just Soul Burst, and load up your field with what you got. And you can search out the DCEs as well. So, yeah, that is the updated deck. I highly suggest you guys try it out. If you don't want to, that's fine. It's your choice, and I can't make you do anything. But yeah, this deck has been pretty amazing since I took out the Lugias. Granted, Lugia is my favorite Pokemon, and I'd love to run it, but the Rayquaza makes it so much better and so much quicker than having Lugia, because of the whole recycling energies. It is so much better. No one thought this card would be good, but it is pretty freaking good, and you can put it in any deck that needs recycling, especially with the new card Charizard GX coming out and Burning Shadows. Discard 3 fire energies, and it needs 5 energies to attack. You have Rayquaza with a DCE, you can get 2 of those back, and even if you have the burn energy, you're already set for next turn, because burn energy just comes back when you're discarded. So yeah, this is the new Solgaleo deck profile. I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys maybe even try it, maybe enjoy it. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. If you guys have any suggestions that I should run, that I should try, that I should take out, that I should replace, let me know in the comments below, please. I'm willing to try stuff out. I am trying to find the best deck profiles for this, so I can, maybe I actually will take this one to tourneys. But I have battled just random people, and it's done really, really well. But yeah, let me know your suggestions and comments, like I said. And I will see you next time. See ya.